If you know me, you know that I firmly believe that Mitchell Musso is one of the greatest actors in Disney Channel history. And before you guys are all like, why? Why would you think? Just listen to me for a second, okay? In 2011 alone, there were 5 Disney series that had Mitchell Musso's involvement to some capacity. First, we got Hannah Montana, a show that ended in early 2011 but still aired reruns throughout the year. Then we got Pair of Kings, the show that Musso left Hannah Montana for. And then there's Phineas and Ferb, where he voiced recurring character Jeremy. Then we have the Friends for Change games, right? It wasn't really a series, but it still kinda counts. Plus, that dude was a captain during the event. He wasn't just a random, irrelevant background person. Now, you may be thinking, Nostalgia, you said 5 shows. What was the 5th show that Mitchell Musso was involved in? Well, the answer, if you couldn't literally tell from my thumbnail and title of the video, is Prankstars, Disney's short-lived prank show that would put regular everyday people in crazy, unpredictable, and humorous situations involving their favorite Disney stars that were engineered by their friends and family. Out of all the Disney shows out there, I am quite certain that this is at least one of the shortest living ones out there with only 6 episodes, so we're going to be taking a quick look at it, see if it still holds up. So sit back, relax, and grab a box of Yo-Go's. Just kidding, you can't. They discontinued them, unfortunately. Because in today's video, we will be talking about Disney Channel's Prankstars. Prankstars premiered on Disney Channel on July 15th, 2011. A very important day for Mitchell Musso fans. About a month ago, I discovered that there was this thing that I like to call the Mitchell Musso Equinox. Earlier, I mentioned that there were 5 shows in 2011 that Musso had some sort of involvement in. But as it turns out, all 5 of these shows aired on the same day, July 15th. I did a lot of digging through old Disney Channel schedules and found out that on the day Prankstars premiered, the Phineas and Ferb episode Out of Tune featuring Musso as Jeremy aired, the Hannah Montana episode Joni Be Good featuring Musso as Oliver aired, Friends for Change games aired, and Pair of Kings aired on Disney XD. Musso was practically running Disney, if we're being honest. As stated earlier, the show portrayed scenarios in which kids varying from the ages of 9 to 14 meet their favorite Disney stars. In the show's 6 episodes, we have appearances from stars like Selena Gomez, Zendaya, Leo Howard, Tiffany Thornton, Bridget Mendler, Bella Thorne, and they even brought back Raven-Symoné. But today, we're going to be focusing on one episode in particular. The episode featuring Ant Farm's China and McClain and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Adam Hicks from Zeke and Luther. Are you guys surprised that I did this episode? I mean, come on. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. The episode starts off with quite possibly one of the most obnoxious theme songs of all time. I always hated this theme song, it was so annoying. I especially hate Mitchell Musso's head movements in this. Why are you bouncing up and down like this? Musso welcomes us to his smash hit television series Prankstars with open arms. We get invited to take a peek inside his undercover Prankstars command center vehicle, which is a frozen yogurt truck on the outside. Mitchell tells us that China and McClain's biggest fan is 14-year-old Sequoia.
Sequoia is a great dancer and she loves that China and dances too.
No, she doesn't. She sings, she plays the piano and plays the violin. I have never seen China and McClain dance. Yeah, sure, she dances on Ant Farm, but she's not a dancer. By that logic, Josh Peck is a dancer too, because he danced on Drake and Josh a couple of times. I don't know, I'm just struggling to move past this. Out of all of the talents that China has, why would her doing a little bit of dancing be the thing that, alright man, you know what? Whatever, we're just gonna keep it going. This whole thing is probably fake anyway. The Prankstars people set up this fake game show called Rock Stars and Supermodels Sing and Strut, and they put a group of kids together to test out the structure of the game. But what they don't know is that China and McClain is in the building as well, and she will also be testing out the show.
Give it up for China and McClain! How you doing?
Back to the episode, China introduces herself to the audience, and it's revealed that instead of everyone being there to simply try out the game show, they're actually there to audition to be the host of it. And the fake game show producer picks Sequoia to compete against China for the role of host, and she agrees. Since it's just a test run, they have no actual buzzer, so the producer asks them to come up with some buzzer sounds of their own. They start off by showing clear favoritism to China. China clearly buzzed in after Sequoia, but they let China answer anyway. Then later, they do this thing where both girls have to pretend to be models to put on some of the clothes provided for them to see which one has the better model look or something. But after Sequoia puts on a bunch of clothes and struts down the stage, they tell China that all she has to do is show them her best model wave.
It's fair, right?
Not really.
Why isn't it fair?
Because she didn't get to dress up and stuff and walk. She just had to wave.
Man, she's a better person than me because I wouldn't have been so calm. I don't care who you are, what show you're on, what movies you've been in, how many covers of Taylor Cruz songs you've done. I'm not letting anything like that slide. That's nuts. After that, they have to do this game where they have to do impressions. Sequoia has to do her best rock star impression, whereas China, all she has to do is act like a rock. A literal rock.
Are you kidding me right now?
All of the production people for the fake game show leave the room to allow China and Sequoia to have a little one-on-one time. China tells Sequoia that she's considering giving up her role on Ant Farm to pursue her game show hosting career, and Sequoia tells her that's not a good idea. But the producers enter the room again and tell the two girls that the executives are really into the idea of giving the role to Sequoia. But to make things fair, he says that the role of host is going to go to whoever can answer the next question.
Who is the star of the new Disney Channel show, Prankstars? China Ann.
Sequoia?
That's right, you are our winner!
Man, what a day for Sequoia. Not only did she get to meet two Disney Channel stars in Mitchell Musso and China Ann McClain, but she also got to be on the network itself. Now, was it real? Probably not. But the 8-year-olds this was intended for probably couldn't tell. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Mitchell Musso and the gang sign off to conclude what was a rather mediocre episode of Prankstars. But there's still one more episode left to talk about, because coming up next, we have an episode focused on the legend himself, Adam Hicks.
Disney Channel's Prankstars will be right back. We now return to Disney Channel's Prankstars.
All right, so Adam Hicks has a lot of fans, but Zach is the biggest.
Yeah, nah, that's cap. I'm pretty sure I'm the biggest Adam Hicks fan, but whatever, Mitchell. So one of the things worth noting about the show is that whenever the main kid's parent is talking about how much their child loves a specific Disney star, they just so happen to have HD crisp footage of their child doing stuff pertaining to the actor. Like in this case, are you telling me she just happened to have footage of her kid watching Zeke and Luther or dyeing his hair red so it looks like Adam's? Okay, yeah, see, I never drew fan art for Adam, so this kid Zach might actually have me beat. So basically, the setup for this episode is that Adam has this fake interview to do for this fake company. But the only issue is Adam lost his voice. And so they tell Zach that he'll have to fill in for him and pretend that he is Adam. So while I was doing some research, I noticed something pretty interesting. Zach's full name is Zach Tukowski. And as it turns out, he's actually an actor. He was even in the Joker movie, apparently. He's 24 years old and has been acting since he was 10, which would probably put him about 11 or 12 during the filming of this episode. Why would Disney approach an actor to be on this show that's supposed to be about regular kids meeting their favorite celebrities?
Suspicious.
Zach agrees and the radio show starts.
Yo, peeps. It's Adam Hicks here. Hi.
Okay. They ask Zach some more questions meant for Adam, like where are some locations that he plans on performing at during his tour. Being the world's biggest Adam Hicks fan, I can say with complete confidence that Adam does not have enough songs for a tour. So the fact that they even attempted to pretend that he does, even for a prank show, is hilarious. I mean, okay, let's count. He's got You Can't Touch This, In the Summertime, We Burnin' Up, I guess the Determinate rap if he wants to. He had this one single called Las Vegas that I actually still really like to this day, but that didn't come out until much later in the year. I know we also had a couple tracks for the Shake It Up soundtrack, but like, you get what I'm saying. He barely has a discography. But the stuff that he does have, absolute bangers, all of them. What's even funnier though is that they had Adam just use signals and props to help Zach answer the questions, but one of the answers to where he plans on performing is the Staples Center. You know full well Adam Hicks wasn't playing at no Staples Center, bruh. What is he, Christopher Wilde or something? And then one of the other fake venues he's playing at is the Viper Room, which isn't a very Disney-friendly place. On top of it being where several celebrities have either died or have had near-death experiences, it is also a place that you literally cannot even get into unless you're over the age of 21, which Adam was not at the time. They later ask Adam which one of his movies is his favorite. So he takes out a pan and a bunch of gummy worms to illustrate how to eat fried worms is his favorite. I mean, bro only has like 2 options between that and lemonade mouth, so. Mitchell Musso calls in pretending to be the president of the Adam Hicks Mitchell Musso calls in pretending to be the president of the Adam Hicks fan club. But how funny would it be if this was a real show and the kid recognized Mitchell's voice and was just like, hey, you sound like Jeremy from Phineas and Ferb. Would they just have to stop filming? Or for what? He has Adam do a little rap for him just to make sure that he's feeling all right. And
I'm Adam Hicks and I love my fans. You are my favorite and I have pants.
Some lady walks in and says that they didn't realize that they had an actual in-person interview scheduled for that day. So the plan now is to have Zach speak for Adam, but have Adam mouth the words that Zach is saying while he's underneath the desk. So it goes exactly like how you'd expect it to go. It gets really cringy and awkward after a while, so Adam tells Zach to stand up and reveal himself, which leads to Mitchell Musso and Zach's mom coming out of the truck to reveal to Zach that it was in fact a prank.
My name's Adam Hicks and I lost my voice.
I filled in because I had no choice.
You'll get shocked no matter who you are.
When you get caught by a prankster.
Yeah, I think I've had enough of this show. I probably never gonna watch it again, honestly. So, Prankstars isn't a show that gets talked about a lot nowadays, and there's quite a few reasons why. Number one being, it's bad. Like, very, very bad. It might be cool if you're like 8, maybe 6, but watching this as an adult was truly a painful and awkward experience. First of all, I made a lot of jokes about this show being fake, but never really actually had any proof to back it up other than, you know, common sense. So I did some digging and found this TikTok of this woman talking about how years ago she had this audition for this unnamed Disney project, but they ended up going with someone else instead. And as it turned out, that show ended up being Prankstars, which means that every single person that was involved in the show were paid actors. There's like a slight chance that this was not Zach's actual mom. And after finding all this out, my first reaction was, well then why even make this show? What were they trying to accomplish? It seems like a waste of money to even produce this show. Because I mean, they went through a lot of hassle to make it look real, having a teched out van and stuff. It just seems kind of stupid that they would even attempt to do something like this and just blatantly deceive millions of kids. And they went through all that just for the show to not even be good. The situations that they put these kids through are so uninteresting to the point where you can't even help but be bored. Like, look at Punk'd, for example. I have no doubt that this show had its fake moments, but at the end of the day, the show was almost always funny. But this show had next to zero thought put into it, which led to an extremely lackluster product. Funny thing is, the show ended up getting canceled and swept under the rug after Mitchell Musso's DUI that caused him to miss out on season 3 of Perry Kings. Only 6 episodes were made, but only 4 actually aired in the US. What's crazy is that the ratings for the show genuinely were not that bad, and were kinda on par with stuff like Ant Farm. 3 out of the 4 episodes that aired in the US reached the 3 million mark. So if it wasn't for Mitchell's DUI situation, the show would have probably lasted at least 13 episodes, I'd imagine. But instead, it's kind of just this weird memory that most people have in the back of their mind, and it probably would have stayed there if it wasn't for this video. Or Scott Kramer's video. But yeah, Prankstars wasn't one of Disney Channel's finest moments, I am sad to report. Enough for me though. I want to know what you guys think about Prankstars, if you even remember it. Let me know in the comments below. As always, subscribe if you're new and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. I'm Mr. Nostalgia and I'm out for now. Peace.